Hello and welcome to the Sleepy God. Tonight we're drifting into a calm but curious corner of nature. Sleep is one of nature's great mysteries. Though we may not often think of it as such, it is a universal experience shared by nearly every creature that inhabits the planet. It's a state of rest, a break from the waking world. For humans, sleep is something we take for granted, a necessary respite from the busyness of life. But across the animal kingdom, sleep is not a uniform experience. It has adapted to the unique needs and environments of countless species, and in many cases, it seems to be a delicate dance between rest and survival. What does it look like when a creature with no brain falls asleep? How do dolphins sleep while swimming through vast, deep waters? And how do birds navigate the sky while their minds rest? The sleep of animals is an intricate, often surprising subject, full of strange adaptations and quiet mysteries. Even in the wildest corners of the world, from dense jungles to windswept oceans, creatures sleep in ways that challenge our understanding of what sleep truly is. When we sleep, we generally enter one of two main stages: rapid eye movement REM and NAN, rapid eye movement NAN, REM sleep. These two stages are remarkably distinct from one another and are responsible for different kinds of recovery. REM sleep is when our most vivid dreams occur, and it is marked by rapid eye movements, irregular breathing, and muscle paralysis to prevent us from acting out our dreams. Non-REM sleep, in contrast, is quieter, deeper, and calmer, allowing the body to repair itself physically, restoring energy and clearing metabolic waste. Humans cycle through these two stages in a pattern that typically lasts about 90 minutes. As we move from deep, restorative sleep to vivid dreaming, our bodies and brains engage in a rhythm of their own, balancing activity and stillness. This cycle repeats several times throughout the night, but sleep in the animal kingdom is far from universal. Some animals, like cats, slip into REM sleep almost immediately after falling asleep, while marine mammals, such as dolphins, have learned to alternate between hemispheres of the brain, resting one half while the other remains alert. It is in the rhythms of sleep that we see a fascinating glimpse into the biology of animals. These rhythms are dictated, in part, by the circadian clock, an internal timekeeper that governs the body's natural rhythms. This clock, found in nearly every living organism, is set by environmental cues, most notably light. As daylight fades, the pineal gland begins to release melatonin, the hormone that signals the body to prepare for rest. And as the sun rises again, this process reverses, and our bodies awaken. But while the circadian rhythm is a universal constant, the way it expresses itself in different animals is anything but uniform. For some species, this biological clock is in perfect harmony with the environment, guiding them through daily rhythms that correspond to light, temperature, and even the availability of food. And for others, sleep is an entirely different matter, one that cannot be separated from their survival strategy. Take, for example, the migratory birds that glide across vast distances, spending weeks without ever touching the ground. They sleep in bursts, allowing one hemisphere of their brain to rest while the other remains alert, constantly watching for danger, navigating the ever-changing skies. This remarkable adaptation allows them to rest without losing their place in the world, seamlessly blending the need for sleep with the unrelenting demands of migration. In the same way, dolphins have perfected the art of half-brain sleep, keeping one side of their mind awake while the other This adaptation is essential for survival. Dolphins are voluntary breathers, meaning they must consciously rise to the surface to breathe, even while they are asleep. A fully unconscious dolphin would risk drowning. Instead, their brains alternate hemispheres, resting one side while the other stays alert enough to ensure the dolphin continues to swim and surface for air. In the depths of the ocean, the idea of sleep takes on a new dimension. Marine animals, like whales and seals, have evolved their own versions of sleep, adjusting their rhythms to life in the water. Whales, for instance, can rest vertically, hanging motionless in the water like towering pillars, while other species float just beneath the surface in a behavior called logging, resembling a floating tree trunk. But regardless of how they sleep, the need for vigilance is always present. As we dive deeper into the world of animal sleep, we begin to see just how flexible and finely tuned this process really is. From creatures that sleep with half of their brain at a time to those that barely sleep at all, animals have developed countless strategies to rest while remaining alert. Sleep, it seems, is not a luxury, it is an essential part of survival, a delicate balance between rest and readiness. In exploring these fascinating sleep patterns, we not only learn about the incredible adaptability of life on Earth, but also uncover the quiet mysteries of a process that, for all its familiarity, is far from fully understood. Through this journey, we will encounter animals that challenge our preconceived notions of sleep, revealing that even the most mundane-seeming act of rest is, in fact, a marvel of biological engineering. Sleep is one of the most common yet mysterious experiences shared across the animal kingdom. At its core, sleep serves to restore the body and mind, though the exact purpose of this still elusive process remains the subject of intense scientific inquiry. To understand how animals sleep, it's essential to first examine the two primary stages of sleep: rapid eye movement, REM, and NAN, rapid eye movement, NAN-REM. Though they are fundamentally the same in all animals, the duration, frequency, and depth of these stages can vary significantly across species on humans. REM sleep is the stage where most vivid dreams unfold. It is marked by rapid movements of the eyes under closed lids, irregular breathing, and a marked increase in brain activity. Despite the high levels of neural activity, the body remains paralyzed, a mechanism designed to prevent us from physically acting out our dreams. This paradox of heightened brain activity combined with physical immobility is both fascinating and necessary. It prevents us from, say, running while dreaming about a chase, or inadvertently harming ourselves while in the grip of a nightmare. Non-REM sleep, in contrast, is a quieter, deeper phase of rest. It is during non-REM sleep, particularly in its deepest stages, that the body engages in the most crucial restorative processes. Muscles repair themselves from the wear and tear of daily life. Immune systems bolster their defenses, and the brain undergoes processes thought to clear away metabolic waste and toxins. These deep sleep stages are when the body truly unwinds, resetting itself for the demands of the waking world. For many animals, non-REM sleep is where the bulk of physical recovery occurs, often playing a vital role in survival. While these stages of sleep are consistent across most animals, the timing and structure of sleep cycles vary widely. In humans, a complete sleep cycle lasts about 90 minutes, during which time the body cycles between non-REM and REM sleep multiple times throughout the night. This cycle allows for both deep physical restoration and mental rejuvenation, promoting not just physical health but also memory consolidation and emotional well-being. For many animals, however, the patterns are different. For example, cats, which can sleep between 12 and 16 hours a day, fall into REM sleep much more quickly than humans. A cat may enter REM sleep within 15 minutes of dozing off, while humans take considerably longer to transition into this vivid dreaming phase. This difference is believed to be due to the fact that cats, being predators, need to keep their mental faculties sharp, processing information and enhancing their hunting skills even during sleep. Marine mammals, such as dolphins and certain species of whales, experience sleep in a profoundly different way. Instead of entering a full sleep cycle like humans, these creatures exhibit unique behaviors like hemispheric sleep, where only one half of the brain enters a state of rest at a time. The other half remains alert, ensuring the animal can continue swimming and surfacing for air. This remarkable adaptation ensures the survival of these animals in an environment where total unconsciousness could be fatal. Dolphins, for example, must consciously control their breathing, and if they were to fall into a complete state of sleep, they might drown. By allowing one hemisphere of their brain to rest while the other remains awake, they can continue navigating through the vast ocean waters. Understanding these differences helps us appreciate the variety of ways in which sleep functions across the animal kingdom, from the fast-moving REM sleep of a house cat to the half-brained slumber of a dolphin. Sleep is a far more flexible and adaptive process than we might have imagined. It serves not just to restore the body, but to fit the specific demands of each animal's lifestyle, providing the essential rest they need without compromising survival. As we examine the sleep patterns of more animals, it becomes evident that sleep is not a static, one-size-fits-all behavior. Whether it's a bird spending days aloft without landing, a seal taking quick naps while drifting through the ocean, or an insect resting in a quiet corner, sleep varies across species, each adaptation shaped by the environment and lifestyle of the animal in question. But whether long or short, deep or brief, sleep remains essential, ensuring that each creature, in its own unique way, can rest, recover, and survive. Sleep, though universal, is far from uniform. What truly connects every animal's sleep is the circadian rhythm, a master clock that governs the ebb and flow of activity and rest. It's a rhythm so ancient and ingrained that nearly every organism on Earth, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, has some form of it. This internal clock is tuned to the cycles of day and night, the rising and setting of the sun, and the subtle changes in temperature and light that guide the passage of time for humans. The circadian rhythm is controlled by a cluster of neurons in the brain known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, located in the hypothalamus. This tiny cluster serves as the body's timekeeper, synchronizing biological processes with the external world. It uses light, primarily, as a cue. When daylight fades, the body signals the pineal gland to release melatonin, a hormone that tells us it's time to wind down. As the morning sun rises, melatonin production drops, signaling that it's time to wake up. But not all animals follow this same rhythm. While many creatures have their internal clocks aligned with the 24-hour cycle of light and dark, others are attuned to different environmental cues. For instance, certain species of fish and amphibians may respond more to the lunar cycle or tidal patterns than the simple rising and setting of the sun. In polar regions, where the sun may remain above the horizon for weeks at a time, animals have evolved to adapt to these extremes, shifting their circadian rhythms to ensure they stay in sync with their environment. Take the case of migratory birds. These animals rely heavily on the circadian rhythm to time their movements. However, migration throws an additional layer into the equation. For many species, their journey is dictated by both the changing seasons and the position of the sun, with some birds even using the stars to navigate at night. Their circadian rhythm is finely tuned to these environmental factors, helping them to know when to take off, when to rest, and when to continue their long flights across vast landscapes. The circadian rhythm is also influenced by the unique needs of each species. For nocturnal animals like bats or owls, their internal clocks are set to a night cycle. As dusk falls, their bodies are prepared for action, their energy levels peaking when the world around them grows dark. Conversely, diurnal animals like humans, lions, and elephants have their clocks set to the day, making them most active during daylight hours, and ushering in sleep when the sun sets. In the deep ocean, creatures like jellyfish and squid demonstrate a different relationship with the circadian rhythm. In places where sunlight barely penetrates, these animals rely on other cues, such as water currents and the availability of food, to time their activities. Some jellyfish, like the Cassiopeia, experience a type of sleep that is synchronized not with the sun, but with the tidal rhythms of the water around them. By slowing their pulsations at night, they conserve energy and reduce their visibility to predators. These variations in sleep timing are more than just biological quirks. They are survival strategies. The ability to synchronize sleep with environmental rhythms allows animals to conserve energy, avoid predators, and optimize their chances of survival. For many creatures, sleep is as much a product of the environment as it is of their own biology. This relationship between the internal clock and the world outside ensures that the rhythms of life are in constant harmony. The circadian rhythm is not just a mechanism of timing. It's a reflection of the deep connection between organisms and the world around them. It reminds us that the cycles of life, whether governed by the sun, the tides, or the seasons, are inextricably linked to the rest we take. This biological clock is as ancient as life itself, shaping not only when we sleep, but also how we interact with the world. Whether we are waking with the sun or navigating by the stars, the circadian rhythm ensures that we are always in sync with the greater dance of life. Sleep, in its many forms, is far more than just a time for rest. It is, in fact, a critical process for the body's recovery, especially for the brain. During the deepest stages of non-REM sleep, the brain enters a state of slow-wave activity. This is when much of the body's cellular repair occurs, muscles recover from strain, the immune system strengthens, and the brain itself undergoes a much-needed cleanse. But what exactly is happening at the neurological level during sleep, and why is this process so crucial for survival? In animals, as in humans, sleep is essential for cognitive function. Non-REM sleep, particularly the slow-wave phases, allows the brain to clear out waste products that build up during waking hours. Neurons in the brain fire in large, synchronized waves, creating patterns of electrical activity that are thought to help reset the brain's systems. This cleansing process is vital for maintaining cognitive function. Recent research has even revealed that the brain's waste removal system, known as the glymphatic system, works most effectively during sleep, removing metabolic byproducts like beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Without sleep, the brain would accumulate these toxins, leading to cognitive decline. This restorative effect isn't limited to the brain's waste removal, though. Deep non-REM sleep is thought to play a significant role in memory consolidation. During this stage, the brain processes and organizes experiences, storing memories and reinforcing neural connections that help us learn and adapt. This phenomenon is especially apparent in animals that must rely heavily on memory, such as rodents and birds. In laboratory studies, rats trained to navigate mazes have shown distinct neural activity during sleep that mirrors the patterns they exhibited when running the maze. It's as if their brains are replaying the task, reinforcing the pathways they learned during the day. For animals like birds, sleep also plays a role in refining motor skills. Songbirds, for example, practice their songs during the day, and scientists have found that during sleep, their brains fire in the same patterns used when singing. This suggests that sleep, particularly REM sleep, is essential for fine-tuning skills and rehearsing behaviors. The concept of sleep learning has long been a subject of interest in neuroscience, and animals like these songbirds provide strong evidence that sleep is a crucial part of learning. But it's not just the brain that benefits from sleep. In deep non-REM stages, the body's cells repair themselves, muscles regenerate, and tissue damage from physical activity is mended. This process is vital not only for humans but for the survival of many animals that engage in strenuous activities. Consider the lion, which spends much of its day resting after a hard hunt. During deep sleep, its body undergoes the necessary recovery processes to ensure it remains strong and ready for the next chase. In contrast, some animals, like elephants, whose migratory habits demand immense amounts of energy, rely on their sleep to restore bodily function and sustain their massive size. In addition to these restorative functions, sleep is also a time for emotional regulation. The brain doesn't just process memories, it also deals with emotions and stress during sleep. REM sleep, in particular, has been linked to emotional processing. During this stage, the brain's limbic system, responsible for emotions, becomes particularly active, while areas of the brain associated with logic and reasoning remain relatively quiet. This may explain why sleep is often associated with emotional clarity, helping animals, including humans, process difficult experiences and restore a sense of equilibrium. But there's a fascinating twist: the role of sleep in maintaining social bonds. In certain species, sleep has evolved to support not only individual recovery, but the survival of the social group. Consider dolphins, for instance. When they sleep with half their brains active, they remain alert to protect the pod from predators, maintain social interactions, and ensure they can communicate even during rest. In species like these, sleep is far more than just a solitary event, it's a communal necessity. Through their unique sleep behaviors, these animals demonstrate how sleep can enhance not only individual well-being, but also group survival. Thus, sleep is not just about rest, it is an essential component of an animal's ability to function at its peak, both physically and mentally. From consolidating memories and learning new skills to regulating emotions and repairing the body, sleep is a masterful orchestrator of life. The mysteries of sleep continue to unfold, revealing that, far from being passive, sleep is an active process that shapes everything from behavior to survival strategies. As we observe the vast array of sleeping patterns in the animal kingdom, it becomes clear that sleep is not a luxury, it is a vital necessity for survival. From the brain's intricate processes during slow-wave sleep to the body's restoration in deep non-REM stages, sleep offers essential recovery that supports both body and mind. It is the silent force behind many of nature's most remarkable adaptations, allowing animals to face the challenges of their environments with strength, grace, and precision. Sleep is a universal biological necessity, but how animals sleep varies greatly depending on their environment, evolutionary history, and survival strategies. Some creatures spend a majority of their lives in deep slumber, while others remain barely at rest, sleeping only when absolutely necessary. These variations in sleep patterns reflect the incredible adaptability of life on Earth, where every species has fine-tuned its sleep habits to meet its unique needs. One of the most fascinating sleep adaptations is found in marine mammals. Dolphins, for example, possess the ability to sleep with only one hemisphere of their brain at a time. This is known as Hemispheric slow wave sleep, USWS. This ability allows them to continue swimming, surfacing for air, and remaining alert to potential threats, all while one half of their brain rests. The sleeping hemisphere of the dolphin is usually the one whose opposite eye remains closed, while the awake hemisphere keeps the other eye open to monitor their surroundings. After a period of time, the two hemispheres swap, allowing the dolphin to rest one side while the other remains vigilant. The need for this extraordinary sleep adaptation is clear. Dolphins, like other marine mammals, are voluntary breathers. This means they cannot rely on the automatic reflex that most land mammals have to breathe while they sleep. If a dolphin were to fall into a deep, full brain sleep, it might forget to surface for air and drown. By resting one hemisphere at a time, dolphins manage to stay alive while still getting the rest they need. This adaptation is a perfect example of how sleep is shaped by the demands of the animal's environment. Similarly, whales have developed remarkable sleep behaviors suited to their aquatic lifestyle. Some species, like the sperm whale, are capable of logging, a behavior in which the whale floats motionless just below the water's surface, allowing one hemisphere of the brain to rest while the other remains alert. Other species of whales, such as orcas, alternate between slow swimming and rest, ensuring that they are always aware of their surroundings while still giving their bodies the time they need to recuperate. Migratory birds also demonstrate incredible adaptations in their sleep patterns. The great frigate bird, for example, is known for its remarkable ability to sleep while flying. These birds spend weeks aloft, never touching the ground. Their solution to the need for sleep during long flights is similar to the dolphins. They engage in unihemispheric sleep. When one hemisphere of the brain sleeps, the other hemisphere remains awake to monitor flight patterns, navigate the skies, and stay alert to any changes in weather or the approach of predators. The frigate bird can rest for brief intervals while gliding, often taking micro-sleeps of just a few seconds, allowing them to continue their migration without the need to land. These adaptations to sleep during flight are not limited to just frigate birds. Other long-distance migrants, such as some species of ducks and geese, have also developed the ability to take short naps while flying. These species have evolved this behavior as a response to the challenges of migration, where every moment of rest is precious but must not come at the cost of safety or navigation. The key to these extraordinary sleep patterns is the concept of efficiency. For animals like dolphins, whales, and migratory birds, the need to stay alert and active, whether in the ocean, the sky, or during migration, is paramount. Their sleep patterns are designed not just to rest the body, but to maintain vigilance, allowing them to continue navigating through their environments while still getting the essential restorative sleep they need. These adaptations reveal just how flexible the concept of sleep can be. What we typically think of as a static state of rest an uninterrupted night of sleep is, in fact, a fluid and dynamic process that can take on many forms in nature. The need to adapt to specific environmental pressures has led animals to develop sleep strategies that allow them to remain functional, aware, and safe, even while resting. In more terrestrial environments, other animals have similarly evolved unique sleep behaviors to match their specific needs. Giraffes, for instance, are one of the most extreme examples of animals that sleep very little. For the most part, giraffes rest only for short periods, often lying down to rest, but usually keeping an eye out for predators. Their sleep is fragmented into brief naps, and the total amount of rest they get in a 24-hour period is only a few hours. This adaptation is driven by the fact that giraffes live in open grasslands with few hiding spots. They must remain vigilant for predators so deep. Long sleep is a luxury they cannot afford. Similarly, elephants, another large animal, only sleep for about 2 hours a day in the wild. They, too, have adapted to their environment by sleeping lightly, especially during long migrations. Elephants spend much of their time moving from one food source to the next, and their sleep cycles are disrupted by the need to be on the move. Like giraffes, they must be alert to the constant threat of predators and the demands of their physical environment. These animals, like migratory birds, manage to get by with significantly less sleep than most humans would consider adequate. Their ability to function on little sleep is not a sign of exhaustion, but rather an adaptation to their particular ecological needs. Their sleep patterns are finely tuned to the rhythms of their world, ensuring they have the energy and awareness necessary to survive. Sleep, as it turns out, is not one size fits all. It is shaped by the environment, the physical demands of survival, and the evolutionary history of each species. From the half-brained sleep of dolphins to the microsleeps of migratory birds, these adaptations reveal that sleep is a highly flexible and essential process that supports both physical restoration and the unique needs of each animal's survival. In the end, sleep may be universal, but how and when animals sleep is a testament to the incredible ways in which life has evolved to meet the challenges of the natural world. One of the most extraordinary sleep adaptations in the animal kingdom is the ability of certain species to sleep with only one hemisphere of their brain at a time. This phenomenon, known as Hemispheric slow-wave sleep (USWS), is particularly common in marine mammals like dolphins, whales, and seals, as well as some bird species. It allows them to rest while maintaining a level of awareness that is essential for survival in their dynamic and often dangerous environments. For dolphins, the need for hemispheric sleep is both practical and vital. Dolphins are voluntary breathers, meaning they must consciously decide when to come up for air. If both hemispheres of their brain were to enter a deep sleep simultaneously, they could forget to surface, risking suffocation. Instead, they sleep with one hemisphere of their brain at a time, allowing the other hemisphere to stay alert and in control of necessary functions such as swimming, breathing, and keeping an eye out for predators. This remarkable adaptation is what enables dolphins to continue moving through the water, even while they rest. When a dolphin enters hemispheric sleep, the eye connected to the resting hemisphere closes, while the eye connected to the active hemisphere remains open. This allows the dolphin to stay aware of its surroundings and maintain basic swimming movements. After a period of time, the two hemispheres switch roles, ensuring that both sides of the brain get the rest they need without the animal ever fully shutting down. It is a sophisticated and efficient method of sleep that perfectly aligns with the demands of their aquatic environment. Similarly, certain species of whales also exhibit hemispheric sleep. although their behaviors differ slightly due to their larger size and more varied sleeping habits. Sperm whales, for example, are known to rest vertically in the water, with one hemisphere of the brain at rest while the other remains alert. This logging behavior allows these massive creatures to conserve energy while still maintaining control over their buoyancy and awareness of the environment around them. For marine mammals, the ability to sleep with one hemisphere of the brain at a time is a survival mechanism. The underwater world is full of dangers, from predators to strong currents, and these animals must remain aware to protect themselves. Additionally, breathing is a voluntary action for these creatures, and even during sleep, they must be able to navigate the waters and ensure they can reach the surface to breathe. By allowing one side of the brain to rest while the other stays vigilant, these animals can get the restorative sleep they need without compromising their safety. This ability to sleep with one eye open, so to speak, is not limited to marine mammals. Some bird species, such as the migratory frigate bird, also exhibit unihemispheric sleep during long flights. These birds can spend weeks or even months aloft without landing, relying on brief naps that last only seconds at a time. When one hemisphere of their brain sleeps, the other hemisphere remains awake to monitor their flight, adjust their position in the air, and stay alert for potential threats. The frigate bird's ability to rest while flying is an essential adaptation for surviving the rigors of migration, where landing is not always an option. The mechanics of unihemispheric sleep are fascinating, and they provide valuable insights into the adaptability of sleep in the animal kingdom. In all vertebrate brains, the left and right hemispheres are connected by a bundle of nerve fibers, allowing constant communication between the two. However, in animals capable of unihemispheric sleep, these hemispheres can operate more independently. When one hemisphere enters slow-wave sleep, it generates large synchronized brain waves, while the awake hemisphere continues to operate in the more erratic patterns typical of wakefulness. The rest of the body remains relatively still, as this type of sleep does not involve the muscle paralysis of REM sleep. The ability to sleep with one hemisphere at a time provides a perfect balance between rest and vigilance, allowing animals to maintain their position in the world without sacrificing the need for recovery. For dolphins, whales, and migratory birds, unihemispheric sleep is an adaptation that maximizes survival in environments where constant awareness is essential. These animals do not simply sleep in the conventional sense. They have found a way to rest while keeping part of their brain engaged in the ongoing tasks of survival. It's not just about staying alert, though. Unihemispheric sleep may also have implications for social interactions in species like dolphins, which are highly social animals. While one hemisphere of the brain sleeps, the other can remain in contact with the rest of the pod, allowing for social communication and cooperation even during periods of rest. This ability to engage with others while resting is an important part of the complex social behaviors exhibited by many marine mammals. The concept of hemispheric sleep challenges our conventional ideas of rest. We tend to think of sleep as a singular, unified state. When we sleep with our entire brain. But in the animal kingdom, this is not always the case. Unihemispheric sleep demonstrates the flexibility of sleep behaviors and the incredible ways in which animals have adapted to their environments. From dolphins to migratory birds, these creatures show that sleep is not just a time of inactivity, but an active process that can be tailored to fit the needs of the species. For creatures living in environments where constant movement or vigilance is necessary, the ability to rest while maintaining a level of awareness is a brilliant solution. It allows these animals to conserve energy, avoid danger, and maintain their essential functions, all while ensuring that they get the rest they need. The ability to sleep with half the brain at a time is one of nature's most remarkable adaptations, and it highlights the extraordinary diversity of sleep across the animal kingdom. In the world of sleep, not every animal can afford to shut down for long periods of time. For some creatures, the demands of their environment are so intense that their sleep must be brief, fragmented, and highly efficient. These animals are the masters of the micronap, taking tiny, strategic moments of rest throughout the day to stay sharp and functional without ever fully disengaging from the world around them. This ability to rest in small doses allows them to maintain a constant level of alertness, an essential survival trait in environments where danger is ever present, or the need to keep moving is unrelenting. One of the most striking examples of micronapping comes from the migratory frigate bird. These birds are renowned for their incredible long-distance flight capabilities, spending weeks on end soaring across the open ocean without landing. While flying, the frigate bird takes brief naps lasting just a few seconds at a time, with one hemisphere of its brain sleeping while the other remains awake and alert. These micro-sleeps are just enough to give the bird a quick rest, but not so long that it loses track of its surroundings or its navigation. The key to the frigate bird's success in these long, perilous journeys is the ability to sleep while staying in motion, its brains and wings always working in harmony. Similarly, other migratory birds, such as ducks and geese, have adapted to take micronaps during their long flights. Even when flying thousands of miles without landing, they manage to rest in brief intervals, often no longer than a few seconds. During these short rests, one hemisphere of the bird's brain sleeps, while the other hemisphere stays active and controls flight. This allows the bird to maintain its position in the air, adjust its course, and avoid predators, all while keeping the body energized enough to continue the journey. This phenomenon is not limited to birds. In the ocean, seals and sea lions also engage in fragmented sleep patterns, particularly when they are at sea. While on land, these animals can enjoy long, deep sleep, but in the water, where danger can strike at any moment, they sleep in short bursts. These quick naps, often just a few minutes long, allow the animal to keep one eye open for predators and environmental threats. By sleeping in small, strategic intervals, seals and sea lions maintain a constant level of vigilance, ensuring they are always ready to react if needed. These brief moments of sleep provide the necessary recovery without compromising the animal's need for constant awareness. The concept of micronapping is particularly important for species living in high-risk environments where remaining alert and active is essential for survival. For animals like migratory birds, sea mammals, and even insects, the ability to take short, efficient naps helps them navigate the complexities of their environments without losing precious energy or succumbing to danger. The advantages of go beyond survival in risky environments. This type of sleep allows animals to balance the two often conflicting needs of rest and readiness. In ecosystems where predators are a constant threat, or where the demands of migration require ongoing motion, the ability to sleep in these fragmented bursts can make the difference between life and death. For the animals that have evolved this capability, sleep becomes a resource that can be strategically deployed, minimizing vulnerability while still allowing for the necessary recovery. But micronapping also reveals something deeper about sleep. It challenges the traditional human understanding of rest. For us, sleep typically means long, uninterrupted periods of downtime. We may see a nap as a luxury, something to be done when there is no pressing need to be alert. But in the world of animals, sleep is not always about luxurious, extended periods of rest. It is about efficiency and adaptation to the environment. The flexibility of sleep is particularly evident in the way animals adjust their sleep patterns depending on external factors. For migratory birds and sea mammals, the timing and duration of their sleep are not fixed but are instead determined by the demands of the moment. In the open ocean or the skies above, the journey is unrelenting and the risks are constant. By taking micronaps, these animals can rest without ever falling completely into unconsciousness. The result is a form of sleep that maximizes survival, allowing animals to keep their heads above water, literally and figuratively, throughout their extended travels. In the animal kingdom, then, sleep is not just about recovering from the day's exertions, it is about surviving. The ability to sleep in small, efficient bursts allows creatures to thrive in environments that would otherwise overwhelm them. It is a brilliant strategy that turns vulnerability into an advantage, ensuring that the animal remains both rested and ever ready for the next challenge that comes its way. The art of micronapping is a profound reminder of nature's ingenuity, revealing how animals have evolved to balance the delicate needs of rest and alertness. In high-demand environments where every moment counts, sleep is not an indulgence, it is a finely tuned mechanism for survival. Sleep is not just a time for physical recovery, but also a critical period for mental restoration and memory consolidation. While the brain's physiological processes during sleep are complex, the role of sleep in organizing and solidifying memories is one of its most vital functions. This phenomenon is not limited to humans. In fact, many animals rely on sleep to process their experiences, strengthen their memories, and refine their learned behaviors. In humans, REM sleep is particularly linked to the processing of emotions and memories. It is during REM sleep that we often experience our most vivid and complex dreams, which are thought to be the brain's way of organizing and reinforcing the events and emotions of the day. But the link between sleep and memory is not exclusive to humans. Animals, from rats to songbirds, exhibit remarkable behaviors during sleep that suggest they are actively consolidating memories, rehearsing learned tasks, and reinforcing neural connections that will be critical for survival. Take the example of laboratory rats, which are often used in studies of sleep and memory. When rats are trained to navigate a maze, their brains show patterns of activity during sleep that mirror the neural firing patterns they exhibited while running the maze. Essentially, the rats are replaying the maze in their sleep, reinforcing the memory of the task and consolidating it for future use. This phenomenon, known as sleep-dependent memory consolidation, is crucial not only for learning new tasks, but also for retaining and refining skills over time. Birds, too, demonstrate the connection between sleep and memory. Songbirds, for instance, use sleep to refine their songs, which are learned behaviors passed down from one generation to the next. During the day, young birds practice their songs, but it is during sleep that their brains strengthen and fine-tune the neural pathways associated with their vocalizations. Studies have shown that the brain activity of sleeping birds mirrors the patterns of activity they exhibited while singing. It's as if their brain is rehearsing the song during sleep, improving the melody and structure without making a sound. This sleep-dependent memory consolidation is not limited to mammals and birds. Recent research has even uncovered evidence suggesting that reptiles may experience similar processes. Studies of Australian dragons, a type of lizard, have revealed two distinct sleep states, one of which shares key characteristics with REM sleep. These findings challenge the once-held belief that dreaming and memory consolidation were restricted to mammals and birds, suggesting that the roots of these processes extend far deeper into the evolutionary tree. The connection between sleep and memory is not just about retaining factual knowledge or learned behaviors. It also has profound implications for emotional processing. In REM sleep, areas of the brain associated with emotions become highly active, while regions responsible for logical thinking remain relatively inactive. This suggests that REM sleep may play a critical role in processing emotions and regulating mood. By dreaming about past experiences and emotional events, animals, including humans, are able to work through feelings of stress, anxiety, and trauma in a way that prepares them to face similar challenges in the future. In the animal kingdom, this emotional processing is particularly important for animals that face constant environmental stressors. Predators, for example, need to rehearse their hunting strategies during sleep, fine-tuning their skills to improve their chances of capturing prey. Prey animals, on the other hand, may use their dreams to rehearse escape strategies, preparing themselves to avoid predators when they are awake. These forms of sleep-dependent memory consolidation allow animals to be better prepared for the challenges they will face in the waking world. The concept of sleep learning is another fascinating aspect of sleep's role in memory consolidation. This idea suggests that sleep may be the brain's way of integrating new information into existing knowledge and skills. In rats, studies have shown that they are better able to recall information after a period of sleep than after a period of wakefulness. Similarly, songbirds that experience adequate sleep after learning a new song are more likely to perform it accurately and with greater precision. Insects, to demonstrate sleep-dependent memory consolidation. Research has shown that fruit flies, for example, can learn to associate certain smells with rewards or punishments. After a period of sleep, they exhibit enhanced memory recall, reinforcing the idea that sleep plays a fundamental role in learning and memory, even in the smallest of creatures. This raises intriguing questions about the universality of sleep's role in cognitive function, suggesting that even the simplest of brains require rest to properly consolidate memories and refine learned behaviors. Despite the varying forms of sleep across species, one thing is clear: sleep is essential for processing memories, learning new tasks, and refining behaviors. Whether it's a rat replaying the path of a maze, a songbird perfecting its melody, or a predator rehearsing its hunting strategy, sleep provides the mental framework necessary for survival. Dreams, then, are not just random images or abstract thoughts. They are an essential component of the brain's ability to adapt, learn, and thrive. This connection between sleep, memory, and emotional processing underscores the complexity of sleep as a biological process. Far from being a passive, idle time, sleep is an active period during which the brain performs some of its most vital functions. In the animal kingdom, as in humans, sleep is the foundation upon which memory is built. Emotional regulation is achieved and learned behaviors are refined as we continue to explore the fascinating ways in which animals sleep. It becomes increasingly clear that sleep is not just about resting. It is a dynamic and crucial process that shapes how animals interact with their world, respond to challenges, and ultimately survive. In the animal kingdom, there are a select few species that seem to thrive with an astonishingly small amount of sleep. These creatures push the boundaries of what we think is possible when it comes to rest, and in doing so, they challenge our assumptions about the necessity and function of sleep. While most animals follow predictable sleep patterns, there are a few outliers animals that seem to make a living out of doing more with less sleep. Giraffes, perhaps one of the most extreme examples, are notorious for their minimal sleep requirements. Studies have shown that giraffes typically sleep for no more than 30 minutes to 2 hours in a 24-hour period. This sleep is often fragmented into short bursts of just a few minutes, which are typically taken while standing. In fact, giraffes rarely lie down to sleep, a behavior that is likely a survival strategy. Standing while sleeping allows them to quickly detect potential threats, such as predators, and respond faster than if they were lying down. In the wild, where large predators like lions roam, being able to stand and flee at a moment's notice is a matter of survival. Elephants, another large herbivore, follow a similar pattern, spending very little time in deep sleep. In the wild, African elephants typically average only around 2 hours of sleep per day, and this sleep is often taken standing. These animals have evolved to have a slow metabolism, and their massive size means that they need to cover vast distances in search of food and water. Their long migrations and constant movement make deep, uninterrupted sleep impractical. Like giraffes, elephants must remain alert to their environment, especially in areas where predators are a constant threat. The reasons for this minimal sleep are not entirely understood, but one hypothesis is that it may be an evolutionary adaptation. 2. Environmental pressures. For large herbivores like giraffes and elephants, the need to stay mobile and vigilant is paramount. Long periods of deep sleep could leave them vulnerable to attack, so instead they've evolved to sleep in shorter bursts, ensuring they remain alert enough to detect danger while still getting some rest. Similarly, migratory birds are another example of animals that drastically reduce their sleep during their long journeys. The great frigate bird, for instance, can fly for weeks without landing. During this time, these birds take extremely short naps, sometimes only a few seconds long, allowing one hemisphere of their brain to sleep while the other remains awake and alert. These brief micro-sleeps are just enough to give the bird some rest without sacrificing its ability to navigate, fly, and avoid predators. While these animals may seem like outliers in the sleep world, their minimal sleep strategies are not anomalies. In fact, they highlight the incredible adaptability of life to the constraints of the environment. Animals that sleep less are often those that face the greatest challenges in terms of survival. Their sleep patterns have evolved to ensure they can remain functional even when rest is in short supply. In the case of migratory birds and sea mammals, their ability to function on very little sleep is a direct result of the environments in which they live. For birds that must navigate long distances, sleep is a resource that must be used sparingly. Similarly, for ocean mammals that must constantly be aware of their surroundings, sleep is fragmented to balance the need for rest with the need for vigilance. The evolutionary advantage of these minimal sleep patterns is clear. They allow animals to stay safe, alert, and productive in environments where the risks of being caught off guard are high. This balance between rest and alertness is not only a survival tactic, but also a testament to the resilience of nature's adaptations. These minimal sleep strategies are not exclusive to large herbivores or migratory animals. In fact, there are other species, such as certain fish and amphibians, that exhibit similar sleep behaviors. Fish, for example, often rest in short intervals rather than engaging in long periods of sleep. Some species of fish, such as certain sharks, rely on the constant movement of water to pass through their gills for oxygen. They cannot afford to stop swimming completely, so they enter a state of reduced activity, where they alternate between periods of rest and low-level movement. Amphibians, too, have adapted to sleep in short bursts, especially when environmental conditions are harsh. Some species of frogs and toads enter a state of dormancy during extreme conditions, such as drought or freezing temperatures, and while they may not technically be sleeping in the way we think of it, they are entering a form of rest that allows them to survive until conditions improve. For these species, minimal sleep is a survival strategy, not a sign of deprivation. It allows them to function efficiently in their respective ecosystems, balancing the need for rest with the constant demands of their environment. These creatures have evolved to thrive on less sleep, and their ability to adapt to this lifestyle is a testament to the flexibility and ingenuity of nature. Ultimately, these animals force us to reconsider our assumptions about sleep. While we often think of sleep as a luxury, something we indulge in at the end of a long day, these animals remind us that rest is not always about luxury. It is about survival. The ability to function on minimal sleep is a remarkable adaptation, one that enables these species to navigate the challenges of their world with resilience and efficiency. Whether it's a giraffe standing guard against predators or a bird flying non-stop across oceans, the lesson is clear. Sleep is a dynamic, adaptable process that serves the ultimate goal of survival. As we delve deeper into the fascinating world of sleep, one of the most remarkable adaptations we encounter is the phenomenon of hibernation and torpor. These states, which are distinct from regular sleep, allow animals to endure extreme environmental conditions by entering a form of prolonged rest that dramatically reduces their metabolic rate. This seasonal sleep is not merely a time for recuperation, but a life-saving strategy that enables animals to survive during periods when food is scarce, temperatures are extreme, or environmental conditions are otherwise inhospitable. Hibernation, the most well-known of these states, is a type of deep, prolonged sleep that many mammals enter during the winter months. In hibernation, animals lower their body temperature, heart rate, and breathing rate to conserve energy and survive without needing to eat. This process is not merely a long nap, it is a complex biological adaptation that enables animals to survive in harsh winter conditions. When food is in short supply and temperatures can drop to life-threatening levels, one of the most famous hibernators is the bear. While many people believe that bears sleep through the entire winter, the reality is more nuanced. Bears enter a state of torpor, a lighter form of hibernation, during which their body temperature drops only slightly and their metabolic rate decreases. However, they are not in a deep, unbreakable sleep like some other hibernators. Instead, they occasionally wake up to move around, stretch, and even give birth, though they do so without fully emerging from their den. Their ability to go for months without eating is made possible by the fat reserves they build up over the warmer months. For many smaller mammals, however, hibernation is a more complete and drastic process. Animals like ground squirrels, hedgehogs, and bats enter a true hibernation state, in which their body temperature can drop to near freezing levels and their metabolism slows to a crawl. Ground squirrels, for instance, can survive winter by allowing their body temperature to plummet to match the ambient temperature of their burrow. During this time, their heart rate can drop from 350 beats per minute to just 5 beats per minute, and their breathing rate becomes almost imperceptible. They rely entirely on the fat stores they accumulated during the summer months to survive until spring. Torpor, while similar to hibernation, is a more temporary state of rest. It typically lasts for a day or a few days and is commonly used by animals that need to conserve energy in response to short-term environmental stresses. For example, some birds, like the common porwheel, are known to enter torpor during cold nights or when food becomes scarce. These animals enter a hypothermic state where their body temperature drops significantly, allowing them to survive until conditions improve. In torpor, the animal's metabolic rate drops dramatically, allowing it to conserve energy until it can resume normal activity. Torpor and hibernation are not restricted to mammals, however. Many species of amphibians and reptiles also utilize these states to survive in harsh conditions. Frogs, for example, may enter a state of dormancy during freezing winters. Certain species of frogs, like the wood frog, can survive being frozen solid during the winter months. Their bodies produce a natural antifreeze in the form of glucose, which prevents the formation of ice crystals in their cells. When the temperature rises again, the frog thaws and resumes its normal activities, seemingly unaffected by the freezing temperatures it endured. Insects also demonstrate fascinating adaptations to seasonal sleep. Monarch butterflies, for example, are famous for their long migrations, but they also enter a form of torpor during the winter. As the temperatures drop, these butterflies gather in large clusters to conserve warmth and reduce their metabolic rate. This state of rest allows them to survive until spring, when the warmth of the sun triggers their migration back to their breeding grounds. The ability to enter these states of seasonal sleep offers significant advantages. During hibernation or torpor, animals can avoid the worst of the environmental conditions, whether that means enduring freezing temperatures, a lack of food, or even the absence of sunlight. These adaptations allow animals to survive through periods when activity would be dangerous or impossible. By reducing their energy expenditure, animals can extend their survival until the conditions improve, at which point they can emerge from their state of sleep and resume their normal behavior. However, hibernation and torpor are not without their risks. Entering such deep states of sleep requires significant energy reserves, and animals that fail to accumulate enough fat or energy before entering hibernation risk starvation. Additionally, some animals, particularly small mammals, may be vulnerable to predators or environmental changes while in these dormant states. In some cases, their bodies may not successfully reawaken if conditions are too harsh or if they run out of stored fat. Despite these risks, hibernation and torpor are marvels of evolutionary survival. These strategies allow animals to survive in environments that would otherwise be lethal. They are reminders of the incredible ways that life on Earth has evolved to meet the challenges of fluctuating temperatures and seasonal changes. In the grand tapestry of sleep, hibernation and torpor stand out as some of the most extreme and fascinating adaptations. They highlight the diversity of sleep behaviors in the animal kingdom and show how animals have evolved to make the most of the resources available to them. Sleep, in all its many forms, is not just a time for rest, it is a powerful tool for survival, allowing animals to endure the harshest conditions and emerge stronger when the world warms again. As we shift from land-based creatures to the watery realms of oceans, lakes, and rivers, the concept of sleep becomes even more fascinating. Marine animals, from whales and dolphins to fish and turtles, must sleep in ways that accommodate their underwater environment. The challenges of breathing, movement, and predators in aquatic habitats have shaped unique and sometimes mind-boggling adaptations in how these creatures rest. One of the most striking adaptations in marine mammals is their ability to sleep while remaining submerged in water. Dolphins and certain species of whales engage in a form of sleep that allows them to maintain consciousness and awareness of their surroundings. Unlike land mammals, these animals do not rely on reflexive breathing. Instead, they must voluntarily surface for air even during rest. This creates an interesting conundrum. How can they rest if they must constantly be aware of their need to breathe? The solution comes in the form of Hemispheric slow-wave sleep, USWS, a fascinating adaptation where one hemisphere of the brain rests while the other stays alert. Dolphins, for example, rest one side of their brain while keeping the other hemisphere awake to monitor the environment and control swimming. The eye connected to the resting hemisphere closes, while the other eye stays open, allowing the animal to remain alert to danger, navigate its surroundings, and even communicate with others in the pod. After a period of time, the hemispheres switch roles, ensuring that the dolphin gets the rest it needs without compromising its ability to breathe and stay safe. This kind of sleep is not limited to dolphins. Whales, such as sperm whales and orcas, also employ unihemispheric sleep to maintain control over their movements and breathing. These animals engage in logging, a behavior where they float vertically in the water with one hemisphere of their brain resting while the other remains awake. This allows them to keep their buoyancy in check and stay aware of their environment, while still getting the necessary rest to recuperate. In addition to unihemispheric sleep, some marine animals have developed other strategies for underwater rest. For example, sea turtles, which spend much of their lives swimming, rest in a more traditional sense by floating just below the surface or resting on the seafloor. They do not enter a deep, prolonged sleep as some land animals do, but rather take short naps that allow them to rest without becoming completely unconscious. This behavior ensures that they can continue to monitor their surroundings and react quickly to any changes in the environment, such as the approach of a predator or a shift in ocean currents. Fish, too, have adapted to underwater sleep in ways that allow them to balance rest with the need to stay alert. Many fish species rest in a semi-active state, slowing their movements and reducing their activity, but never fully sleeping in the way that land mammals do. Some fish, like certain species of sharks, are known to continue swimming even while resting, using their constant movement to push water over their gills, which is necessary for oxygen intake. These fish may rest by gliding along in a slow rhythmic pattern, entering a light sleep while still maintaining the movement required for breathing and survival. Interestingly, the way marine animals sleep is influenced by their environments in ways that are starkly different from those on land. Underwater, the need for constant motion, buoyancy, regulation, and awareness of potential threats means that sleep cannot be as deep or uninterrupted as it is for animals on land. Marine creatures have developed sleep behaviors that allow them to remain vigilant even while they rest. The constant movement of the ocean, with its fluctuating currents and diverse ecosystem, demands that these animals remain attuned to their surroundings at all times. Sleep in the ocean, therefore, is an ongoing negotiation between rest and alertness. The ability to sleep while still engaging with the environment is an incredible adaptation for survival. For marine mammals, in particular, the evolution of hemispheric sleep has allowed them to thrive in environments where complete unconsciousness could be deadly. The capacity to stay alert while still gaining restorative sleep is a key component of their ability to navigate the vast and sometimes dangerous oceans beyond simply staying awake. Marine animals must also contend with the risks posed by predators and the pressures of their environment. Being able to rest while keeping one eye open to the world allows these animals to avoid danger and stay in control of their movement. This is particularly crucial for species like dolphins and whales, which can be vulnerable to attacks from larger predators such as orcas and sharks. As we continue to explore the world of sleep, it becomes clear that the ocean has created a unique set of challenges for marine animals, challenges that these creatures have faced with incredible innovation. The ability to rest while staying alert is a key adaptation that enables these animals to survive and thrive in one of the most demanding and unpredictable environments on Earth. These adaptations also shed light on the complexity of sleep itself. The idea that sleep can be tailored to the specific needs of an animal's environment, especially one as fluid and dynamic as the ocean, underscores the remarkable diversity of life and the profound ways in which nature has shaped the sleep behaviors of its creatures. Whether through hemispheric sleep or semi-active rest, marine animals have found ways to rest without ever truly shutting down, ensuring that they are always ready for whatever the ocean throws at them. In the vast ocean, among the most bizarre and fascinating creatures are the jellyfish. These soft-bodied invertebrates, some of which are older than even dinosaurs, demonstrate a completely different approach to sleep, one that challenges the traditional understanding of what it means to rest. With no brain, no central nervous system, and a body composed mostly of water, jellyfish provide a striking example of how sleep can exist in forms that are simpler yet equally crucial for survival. Jellyfish, unlike many other animals, do not sleep in the way that humans or mammals do. They lack the complex brain structures necessary for conscious sleep states, such as REM. But that does not mean they do not experience rest. Instead of entering a deep sleep, jellyfish go through periods of reduced activity in which their bodies become motionless, drifting lazily through the water. This state, though not as complex as REM or non-REM sleep, is still essential to the jellyfish's survival. Recent studies have shown that jellyfish undergo a type of sleep-like state, where their body becomes inactive and their movements slow. While they do not experience dreams or deep rest, this period of quiet stillness serves to conserve energy, allowing the jellyfish to recover from the energy expended while actively swimming or feeding. The simplicity of their sleep-like state reflects the simplicity of their physiology. Jellyfish rely on passive movement through the water, drifting with ocean currents rather than exerting significant effort to navigate. One intriguing aspect of jellyfish sleep is how it might relate to their survival strategies. Jellyfish are among the oldest creatures on Earth, having existed for over 500 million years, far before the rise of vertebrates. Their sleep behaviors are believed to be deeply tied to their primitive biology, since they lack a brain to regulate complex sleep cycles. Their version of rest is more akin to a state of dormancy, a way to replenish energy without the need for a complicated sleep architecture. Their sleep patterns also provide insight into the evolution of sleep across species. While we may think of sleep as a necessity tied to the complexity of the brain, jellyfish suggests that simpler organisms can still benefit from a form of rest, even without the need for complex neural processing. Their basic nervous system, composed of a loose network of neurons called a nerve net, can regulate their movements in a way that allows them to enter a quiet, energy-conserving state. This simple form of rest is enough to sustain their lives, illustrating that even the most basic organisms need a way to recharge. Furthermore, jellyfish's sleep-like state is significant for their survival in the ocean's ever-changing environment. With little in the way of defense mechanisms, jellyfish rely on their ability to conserve energy and maintain a low profile. Their passive existence means that they spend most of their time floating with the current, drifting through vast stretches of the ocean in search of food. When they do find prey, their energy reserves are essential for catching and consuming food. By entering a restful state, they can ensure that they are always ready to respond to food sources or threats without exhausting themselves. Jellyfish also demonstrate how sleep-like behaviors can be adapted to an organism's environmental needs. While many animals sleep to recover from the stresses of hunting or avoiding predators, jellyfish have mastered the art of passive living, resting whenever possible to save energy for the moments when they need it most. This minimalistic approach to sleep is one of the many ways in which life on Earth has evolved to match the requirements of survival, whether through complex sleep cycles or the simplest form of dormancy. Interestingly, the study of jellyfish sleep also offers a window into the larger questions of consciousness and rest. If jellyfish can enter a restful state without a brain or nervous system, it suggests that rest is not solely a function of complex neural networks. Instead, it could be a basic biological necessity that even the simplest creatures require. This challenges our conventional ideas of sleep and raises new questions about its origins and purpose in the animal kingdom. Is sleep merely about rest, or is it also an adaptive response that predates the evolution of the complex brain? The jellyfish's sleep-like state is a testament to the incredible diversity of life forms and the different ways in which organisms have adapted to the challenges of their environments. What might appear to be a simple organism drifting through the water is, in fact, engaging in a survival strategy that has allowed jellyfish to thrive for millions of years. Their form of rest, while primitive, is every bit as essential to their survival as the intricate sleep cycles of mammals and birds. In the grand scheme of animal sleep, jellyfish are an outlier, a living relic from the depths of evolutionary history. That demonstrates the simplicity and power of rest in even the most basic organisms. Their existence challenges our understanding of sleep, showing that it is not solely a function of complex neural systems, but rather a biological necessity that can take many forms, no matter how simple the creature. Sleep, that elusive state in which our brains become active in ways that defy logic, is also the realm where dreams occur. In humans, dreaming is often regarded as a reflection of the mind's unconscious thoughts and emotions, a way for our brains to process the day's experiences and work through unresolved feelings. But what about animals? Do they dream? And if so, what do their dreams look like? And, perhaps more intriguingly, how do we know that animals experience dreams in a similar way to humans? Recent research has provided some compelling evidence that many animals, especially mammals and birds, do indeed dream. The key lies in the REM rapid eye movement phase of sleep, a stage where the brain exhibits activity similar to the waking state, and where most of our vivid dreams occur. During REM sleep, the body is temporarily paralyzed to prevent us from acting out our dreams. But the brain is active, processing memories, emotions, and experiences. This stage of sleep is not only present in humans, but in many other species, suggesting that the capacity for dreaming may be widespread. Dogs are perhaps the most well-known animals that appear to dream. If you've ever noticed your dog twitching, paddling its legs, or making soft noises while sleeping, it's likely that they are in REM sleep, and it's highly probable that they are dreaming. Dogs, like humans, cycle through periods of REM and REM sleep, and during the REM phase, their brains display patterns of electrical activity that mirror those seen in awake animals. This suggests that their brains are actively processing and perhaps even reliving experiences, whether it's chasing a ball, encountering a new smell, or playing with their human companions. In fact, studies have shown that dogs' brain activity during REM sleep is remarkably similar to that of humans. This led researchers to hypothesize that dogs could be experiencing dreamlike states, revisiting the day's events, or even replaying familiar activities. While we can't know for certain what dogs dream about, it's reasonable to assume that their dreams are closely linked to their daily experiences and their most important sensory interactions, much like humans. Cats, too, exhibit similar behaviors during REM sleep, and their brain activity also suggests the possibility of dreams. Their sleep patterns are deeply entwined with their natural predatory instincts. When a cat twitches its paws or tail while sleeping, it may be dreaming about hunting, chasing prey, pouncing, and stalking. These behaviors, often observed in young kittens during REM sleep, highlight the connection between sleep, memory, and behavior. It's as if their brains are reinforcing hunting strategies while they rest, ensuring that these skills remain sharp and ready for action when they awake. The idea of animal dreams extends beyond domesticated pets. Research on rats, often used in studies of sleep and memory, has revealed that their brains exhibit similar patterns of activity during REM sleep as those seen during wakefulness. When rats are trained to run mazes or perform complex tasks, they display neural activity during sleep that mirrors the brain activity seen when they were performing the tasks. This suggests that rats may be replaying their experiences during sleep, much like humans revisit their thoughts or memories in dreams. Just like humans, these animals seem to consolidate learning and reinforce behaviors during sleep, strengthening memories that are essential for their survival. Even more astonishing is the possibility that other species, such as dolphins and elephants, experience forms of dreams. Dolphins, with their complex social structures and advanced cognitive abilities, may dream about interactions with pod members or about hunting in the ocean. Elephants, known for their strong social bonds and exceptional memory, may dream about their family members, their experiences in the wild, or even the loss of a loved one. These animals, much like humans, live rich, emotionally complex lives, and it's not hard to imagine that their dreams might reflect their deep social interactions and emotional experiences. What does this tell us about the nature of sleep and dreams in animals? It suggests that the capacity for dreaming is not unique to humans, but rather a part of the broader mammalian experience. In fact, the neural mechanisms that enable REM sleep, the very stage where dreams occur, are found across a wide range of species. This raises the intriguing possibility that dreams serve a universal function, not just for memory consolidation and emotional regulation, but for honing survival skills, practicing social behaviors, and even processing complex emotions. In animals, dreaming may serve to reinforce important behaviors, skills, and social connections. For predators like cats and dogs, dreams may be a way for the brain to reinforce hunting and chasing behaviors. For social animals like elephants, dreams could be a way of processing social interactions, emotions, and memories of loved ones. In dolphins, dreams might reflect the need for cooperation and communication within their pods. In this way, sleep and dreams are not just about rest, they are about preparation, adaptation, and survival. Of course, the exact content of animal dreams remains a mystery, While we may never know exactly what goes on in the minds of dogs, cats, rats, or dolphins, as they drift into REM sleep, the evidence suggests that their dreams are far more complex and meaningful than we once thought. Dreams in animals are likely connected to their most essential behaviors and experiences, helping them to prepare for challenges, reinforce learned skills, and maintain their social bonds. The study of animal dreams opens up a new frontier in our understanding of sleep. It suggests that sleep, in all its many forms, serves not just to rest the body, but to shape the brain, refine behavior, and process the intricate experiences of life. Whether it's a dog chasing a ball, a cat stalking prey, or an elephant remembering its family, dreams are a powerful force that allows animals to work through their experiences, consolidating the lessons of the day while they rest. The next time you see your pet twitching in their sleep, imagine what they might be dreaming about. It's a reminder that sleep, and the dreams that come with it, are an essential part of life, not just for humans, but for the creatures with whom we share this planet. And in this shared experience of dreaming, animals and humans alike are united in the quiet, mysterious realm of sleep. Sleep can take many forms, not just in terms of duration or cycle, but also in the way animals position themselves while resting. While humans tend to find their most comfortable sleep positions whether curled up in a ball or sprawled out on a bed, animals have evolved a range of sleeping postures that help them meet their unique survival needs. These positions may look strange to us, but they are designed with a purpose, helping animals stay safe, conserve energy, or maintain their bodily functions while they rest. One of the most iconic and curious examples of unusual sleeping positions is that of the flamingo. Flamingos are often seen standing on one leg, a posture that, at first glance, might seem like an odd choice for sleep. But this one-legged stance is far more than just a quirky habit. Flamingos rest on one leg as a way to conserve body heat, particularly when they are standing in cold water. By tucking one leg up and resting it against their body, they reduce the amount of surface area exposed to the water, which helps them retain warmth. Additionally, standing on one leg may also help the flamingo maintain balance, minimizing the energy it expends while resting. Bats, too, exhibit a unique approach to sleeping. These nocturnal creatures hang upside down while they sleep, a position that might seem counterintuitive for most animals. However, hanging upside down is an energy-efficient method for bats to rest. By hanging by their feet, bats can sleep without using much muscle energy to remain in place. Their feet are equipped with a locking mechanism that allows them to cling to surfaces without expending any effort. This means that they can sleep for long periods, conserving energy, and only expend effort when they are ready to fly out in search of food. In addition, hanging upside down provides bats with a safe, concealed place to rest, away from potential predators. The sloth is another animal with an unusual sleep position. Sloths spend most of their time hanging upside down, from tree branches in the rainforests of Central and South America. Their sleep behavior is a natural extension of their low-energy lifestyle. With their slow metabolism and minimal movement, sloths are not in a rush to find new places to rest. Hanging upside down is a safe and comfortable position that allows them to sleep for long stretches without having to move much. Sloths also sleep for an impressive 20 hours a day, mostly in a relaxed state, as their low-energy diet of leaves requires them to conserve as much energy as possible. Then there's the case of the koala, an Australian marsupial that spends a significant amount of time sleeping in trees. Koalas, like sloths, have slow metabolisms, which is partly why they sleep up to 18 hours a day. They often sleep sitting upright in the crooks of trees, sometimes appearing to be in a trance-like state. This posture allows them to stay secure in the trees while conserving energy. Sleeping upright also reduces the amount of time they spend moving around, which is an advantage given their low-calorie diet of eucalyptus leaves, which doesn't provide them with much energy. Even predators have interesting sleep postures that serve specific functions. Lions, for example, often sleep in a relaxed, sprawled-out position, sometimes on their sides, which seems like a comfortable way to rest after a long day of hunting or lounging. However, this posture has an important tactical advantage. Lions are ambush predators, and their strength and agility depend on their ability to leap into action quickly. By sleeping in a position that keeps their bodies relaxed yet prepared, they can remain responsive to the sounds and movements of their environment, should a potential prey or threat appear. Cheetahs, known for their incredible speed, also rest in unique positions. While lions may spread out, cheetahs often curl up into tight balls when sleeping, keeping their limbs close to their bodies. This curled position not only offers comfort, but also allows them to conserve body heat. Furthermore, it may help them maintain the physical readiness necessary for their lightning-fast bursts of speed when hunting. The position is strategic, compact, safe, and designed to minimize any unnecessary energy expenditure. One of the most surprising and curious sleeping behaviors comes from the octopus. This marine cephalopod is known for its ability to change color and texture while awake. But it can also enter a form of sleep where it appears to go completely still, often with its arms arranged in a certain way. In this state, octopuses exhibit REM sleep-like behavior, showing rapid eye movements beneath their translucent skin. This sleep phase suggests that the octopus might be dreaming, though its dreams are likely very different from ours. The octopus's sleep position varies depending on its environment, but often it finds a crevice or cave to rest in, where it can keep its body hidden from predators while it undergoes its rest cycles. Even in the insect world, unusual sleep behaviors abound. The monarch butterfly, known for its long migrations, also experiences a form of rest that resembles torpor. During the winter months, monarchs cluster together in large groups, hanging upside down from tree branches. This sleep posture helps them conserve warmth and energy during their long, migratory journey. By huddling together, they create a shared warmth that helps them survive the cold temperatures of the winter months before they continue their journey to warmer climates. These peculiar sleeping positions are not just curiosities, but essential survival tactics. Each position, whether standing on one leg, hanging upside down, or curling up in a ball, serves a specific purpose that aligns with the animal's lifestyle and environment. The way animals sleep reflects not only their biology, but also their need for safety, energy, conservation, and protection from the dangers that may be lurking in their surroundings. The diversity of sleeping positions across species is a testament to the adaptability of life, from the flamingo's one-legged stance to the cheetah's compact curl. Animals have found ingenious ways to rest that serve their particular needs and environments. Their unique sleeping habits reflect the brilliance of evolutionary design, showing that sleep is not merely a passive activity, but a dynamic process that supports the delicate balance of life. As we've seen throughout this exploration of sleep in the animal kingdom, the ways in which different species rest are deeply shaped by their environments, physical capabilities, and survival needs. From the brainless jellyfish that drift into a restful state to the highly social dolphins that sleep with one hemisphere of their brain at a time. Sleep is far from a one-size-fits-all process. It is a biological necessity that has evolved in myriad ways, supporting the survival of species in the most diverse environments on Earth. To truly understand sleep's role in the animal kingdom, however, we must look at its evolution from the simplest organisms to the complex mammals, birds, and even insects that exhibit more intricate sleep patterns. The story of sleep's evolution is not just about rest, but about the sophisticated adaptations that have allowed life to thrive. Even in the harshest conditions, sleep, in its most basic form, likely evolved in early multicellular organisms as a means of conserving energy and allowing the body to repair itself. In creatures like sponges and jellyfish, which lack a brain, sleep-like states are most likely related to the need for rest and cellular repair, rather than the more complex memory, consolidation, and emotional processing that we associate with sleep in higher animals. As life became more complex, so too did sleep. With the advent of the first true brains in animals, like worms and arthropods, sleep began to take on more refined and specialized forms. Insects, for example, demonstrate a form of sleep that mirrors the stages of REM and non-REM sleep, although much more simplified. Recent studies of insects like fruit flies have revealed that they enter sleep-like states during which their brain activity mirrors that of larger, more complex animals. This finding pushes back the evolutionary origins of sleep, suggesting that even creatures with relatively simple nervous systems have evolved ways to rest and consolidate memories. In vertebrates, the evolution of sleep becomes even more interesting. Early vertebrates likely slept in ways similar to modern-day fish, who enter a state of rest without completely shutting down. As vertebrates evolved, particularly in land-dwelling animals, sleep became more complex, with distinct stages that serve to repair the body, consolidate memories, and process emotions. The development of REM sleep, a key phase in human sleep and the sleep of many mammals, marks a major evolutionary leap in sleep complexity. This phase, where most dreaming occurs, likely evolved in animals as a way to integrate experiences and refine learned behaviors. In mammals, REM sleep became essential for memory consolidation, which is particularly important for species that rely on complex learning to survive. For example, rodents use REM sleep to consolidate memory from tasks they perform during the day, while birds rely on REM sleep to refine motor skills, such as song patterns. Birds and mammals share a common ancestor, and both groups exhibit REM sleep, which suggests that this phase of sleep evolved early in vertebrate history. Over time, as brains grew larger and more complex, the need for sleep as a restorative process became more critical. For animals with advanced social structures, like primates, REM sleep also plays a role in emotional processing, helping them navigate complex social interactions and relationships as animals evolved further. The diversity of sleep strategies expanded. The development of uni-hemispheric sleep in marine mammals is an example of how sleep evolved in response to the specific challenges posed by the environment. Dolphins and whales, with their need to maintain buoyancy and surfacing for air, developed the ability to rest half of their brain at a time, a critical adaptation for survival in aquatic environments. Similarly, migratory birds, which fly for long periods without rest, evolved the ability to sleep with one hemisphere of their brain, allowing them to continue navigating through the skies while still getting essential rest. These complex adaptations show that sleep is not just about a passive process of resting the body. It is a dynamic, highly adaptable function that has evolved in response to the needs of each species. Sleep allows animals to recover, learn, and adapt, helping them navigate their environments, form social bonds, and survive in ever-changing conditions. In fact, as we look at the evolution of sleep, we see that it serves more than one function. Sleep is about more than just rest. It is about survival, learning, and adapting. The need for rest is universal, but the ways animals rest are shaped by the demands of their environments, whether through deep hibernation like sleep to survive cold winters, through the fragmented microsleeps of migratory birds, or through the brain-based adaptations of hemispheric sleep in dolphins. Sleep has become an evolutionary masterpiece, sculpted by natural selection to meet the unique needs of each species at the same time. Sleep also reflects the larger evolutionary story of life on Earth, from its most basic forms in single-celled organisms to the complex, multi-stage processes we see in mammals and birds today. Sleep has been a crucial factor in the survival of species. It has shaped how animals learn, process memories, build social structures, and even cope with the stresses of their environments. As life on Earth has evolved, so too has sleep, adapting to the needs of each species in ways that ensure its survival and success. As we conclude our exploration of sleep in the animal kingdom, we are reminded that sleep, while often seen as a passive state, is in fact one of the most dynamic and adaptive processes in nature. It is a process that continues to evolve, allowing animals to thrive, adapt, and survive in the face of the many challenges their environments present. Sleep, in all its forms, is an essential part of life on Earth, a powerful, unifying force that shapes the way all living creatures experience the world.